Child predators commit some of the most horrifying crimes, leaving lasting scars on their innocent victims. In a world where justice can sometimes seem out of reach, there have been instances where fathers, fueled by love and a thirst for retribution, have taken the law into their own hands. Join us as we dive into the stories of 10 fathers who sought revenge on child predators. Number 10. Barry Gilton. Barry Gilton wasn't just another basketball enthusiast in San Francisco's Fillmore district. As the Yoda of youth courts at Ella Hill Hutch Community Center, he mentored the San Francisco Rebels, a squad of aspiring LeBrons. But the Fillmore had a darker side, with rival gangs like the Central Divisadero Players, or CDP, lurking in the shadows. Raised on Central Avenue, Barry dodged his family's CDP ties like Neo avoiding bullets in The Matrix. He started a family with Lupe Mercado, but trouble followed their daughter Leticia to Los Angeles. At 17, she fell prey to Calvin Sneed, a smooth-talking snake who trapped her in a web of forced prostitution. Desperate to save Leticia, Barry enlisted his cousin Antonio Gilton and friend Alfonso Williams. Sneed's villainous career met an abrupt end on June 4, 2012. Barry and Lupe soon found themselves starring in their own crime drama, facing murder charges before being slapped with a RICO indictment. After a 5-year stay at Club Fed, their trial commenced. In a twist worthy of a legal thriller, they beat the Vicar murder charge. Despite Barry's RICO conviction, the district court pulled a rabbit out of its hat, granting acquittal due to flimsy evidence linking him to the CDP shenanigans. Barry's journey from coaching jump shots to jumping through legal hoops proves that life on the mean streets can be stranger than fiction, especially when you're trying to save your kid from a fate worse than a lifetime of airballs. Number 9. Jason Browning. On a chilling day in Daytona Beach, Florida in 2014, Jason Browning's world turned upside down faster than a beachgoer's umbrella in a hurricane. His frantic 911 call painted a grim picture. He'd caught someone molesting his son, and in a fury that would make the Hulk look calm, had turned the perpetrator into a human punching bag. The unlucky recipient of Browning's rage, Raylan Frolander, 18, was now doing an excellent impression of a ragdoll on the floor. Browning, channeling his inner-action hero, had used nothing but his bare hands and feet to deliver this DIY justice. As Browning recounted the scene to the dispatcher, his anger crackled through the phone like static electricity. The sight of Frolander's pants at half-mast had been all the evidence he needed. In a moment of chilling clarity, Brown admitted he'd been a kitchen knife away from turning this into a slasher flick. Only his son's silent plea stopped him from crossing that line. Fast forward to April 2015, and Frolander found himself with a new 25-year lease on a state-funded concrete apartment. He dodged a life sentence by taking a plea deal, but still got the lifetime sex offender badge and a fancy GPS anklet to look forward to post-release. Meanwhile, Browning walked away scot-free, with the local police chief practically giving him a pat on the back. In the chief's book, Browning's actions were just another day in the life of a protective Papa Bear, albeit one with a mean right hook. Number 8. Jay Maynor. June 8, 2014. A startling event unfolded in Alabama. Jay Maynor, driven by a deep-seated pain and outrage, fatally shot his daughter Julia's abuser, Raymond Earl Brooks. Let's dive deeper into this intense story. 2002, Brooks, who was the adopted grandfather of Julia, shockingly pleaded guilty to molesting her. Despite the gravity of his crime, he shockingly only served 18 months, a punishment that hardly matched the severity of his actions. Imagine the agony for Julia, a girl who should have found trust and safety in Brooks, only to be betrayed in the worst possible way. Fast forward to that fateful day in 2014. The scars of the past still haunted Julia, now a mother of 3, battling PTSD and struggling with its impact on her family. Her father, Jay, saw the contentious pain and the injustice of the light sentence Brooke received. Overwhelmed by a father's protective instinct, Jay made a drastic decision. He grabbed his gun and set out to confront Brooks. En route, Jay's anger also led him to fire shots at a country store in the Berlin community, targeting a man who had been involved with his stepdaughter and was reportedly abusive. Although this man escaped unharmed, Jay was charged with attempted murder. Jay Maynor's day of reckoning ended with his arrest and a confession. He accepted a plea deal resulting in a 40-year prison sentence, 20 years for attempted murder and 20 years for the murder of Brooks. Julia defended her father's actions, emphasizing his intent to protect his children, a sentiment echoed by many who hear their story. What do you think? Was Jay Maynor's drastic action justified? Number 7. Andre Bambursky. Andrei Bambursky was heartbroken when he found out his 14-year-old daughter, Kalinka, had died under mysterious circumstances in July 1982. Kalinka's death was suspicious, and Andrei was convinced that her killer, Dr. Dieter Krombach, her stepfather, had escaped justice. Driven by a deep need for justice, Andrei embarked on a lifelong mission. Kalinka died in Lindau, Germany, and initial reports claimed she died in her sleep. But the autopsy revealed more, signs of sexual assault and mysterious injection marks. Despite these alarming details, local authorities didn't dig deeper, and Krombach, a respected doctor, avoided questioning. The official cause of death was declared as heart failure, potentially linked to sunstroke from windsurfing. Refusing to accept these findings, Andrei pushed for a second autopsy, only to discover that crucial evidence had been removed from Kalinka's body, thwarting further investigation. Undeterred, Andrei took action himself, spreading flyers near Krombach's home in Germany, openly accusing him of the heinous act, which led to a defamation suit against him that Krombach won. Persistence paid off when, in 1995, Krombach faced murder charges in absentia when he was sentenced to 15 years. Yet Germany refused extradition. Andrei then resorted to extreme measures. He orchestrated Krombach's abduction to France, where he was finally charged and convicted of causing involuntary death through deliberate violence in a dramatic trial. Andrei tried for the abduction, received a 1-year suspended sentence, but earned praise for his relentless pursuit of justice. Number 6. Gary Plauch. Gary Plauch was just a regular dad from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, until his world turned upside down. His 11-year-old son Jody was kidnapped by Jeff Doucette, a karate instructor and a trusted family friend who developed a dangerous obsession with the boy. On February 19, 1984, under the guise of a quick ride, Doucette whisked Jody away to California, drastically altering his appearance and subjecting him to unthinkable horrors in a secluded motel. Luckily, Jody managed to call his parents, leading to Doucette's arrest. The real shock came when Doucette was being escorted through Baton Rouge's airport. Disguised with a cap and sunglasses, Gary Plauch was on the scene, a gun hidden from view. As Doucette walked by, Plauch fired, a moment shockingly captured by a news crew's camera. The incident ignited a fiery debate. Was Plauch a protective father pushed too far, or a vigilante who took the law into his own hands? His trial was tense, with the community largely supporting him, viewing his act as one of desperate love. The judge, acknowledging the complex emotional landscape, opted not to imprison Plauch, but sentenced him to 5 years of probation and 300 hours of community service instead. Plauch's life afterward was quiet, and he passed away in 2014. His son Jody, having survived the ordeal, penned a book titled Why Gary Why, and found a creative outlet in cooking, sharing his passion online despite the shadows of his past. Number 5. Jesus Mora Flores. In the quiet town of Shiner, Texas, a chilling scene unfolded that tested a father's love and rallied the community's support. On a secluded family ranch, a 23-year-old dad faced a nightmare. His 5-year-old daughter was being assaulted by a ranch hand, Jesus Mora Flores. It all happened quickly. During a frantic 911 call that captured national attention, the father pleaded for help while trying to protect his daughter. Amidst his emotional turmoil, he confessed to striking Flores, fearing the man might not survive the encounter. "Come on, this guy is going to die on me. I don't know what to do," he exclaimed over the phone. The response from the Lavaca County grand jury was clear. They found the father's desperate actions justified, citing his right to defend his daughter and use deadly force if necessary. Witnesses told of seeing Flores dragging the girl away, sparking the father to act. He rushed to his daughter's screams, delivering fatal blows to Flores, who was found by emergency crews with his pants down, a stark indication of his vile intentions. The girl was swiftly taken to the hospital, her traumatic ordeal confirmed by medical and witness reports. Throughout the ordeal, the father's lawyer, Vianne Husser, shielded the family's privacy, emphasizing the father's peaceful nature and protective instincts. Shiner's residents stood firmly behind the father, understanding the extreme measures he took to protect his child. In this cleanest little city in Texas, the community acknowledged the harsh reality of the incident, supporting the father and his daughter as they began to heal from the trauma. Number 4. Eduardo Gallo. Summer 2000 turned tragic for Eduardo Gallo when his daughter, Paola, disappeared from their Tepoztlan home. The nightmare worsened when kidnappers demanded a hefty ransom. Desperate, Gallo paid $18,500 and handed over valuable jewelry, but it was too late. Paola was found dead a week later, her life ended by gunshots to her back and neck. In the aftermath, 3 suspects were caught quickly, yet the actual shooter remained free. Overcome with grief and driven by love, Gallo vowed at Paola's funeral, "I will always love you, my adored child. Thank you for your light," promising to distinguish justice from vengeance. Gallo then dedicated himself to solving the crime, becoming an amateur detective. He discovered that 90% of kidnappings in Mexico are unreported due to fear of retaliation. His relentless pursuit paid off when he traced a kidnapper using a payphone post-abduction. This led to a police stakeout and the arrest of 28-year-old Francisco Zamora Arellano, who confessed to the crime. Gallo's efforts not only brought his daughter's killer to justice, but also shed light on the dark reality of unchecked violence and kidnappings in Mexico. Number 3. Paramjit Singh. In a shocking turn of events in Bathinda district, India, a father's quest for justice took a grim and brutal path. The incident unfolded when Paramjit Singh, during a court hearing on July 5, 2023, offered Paraminder Singh, a 17-year-old accused non-relative, a ride back to their village. But the scene dramatically shifted near Jamba village. Here, in a chilling moment, the father tied the accused to a tree and unleashed a horrifying attack with a sharp-edged weapon, severing both of Parminder's hands. Local authorities quickly intervened, and Parminder was rushed to Bathinda Civil Hospital in critical condition. Doctors, presented with the severed limbs by the police, scrambled to address the gruesome injuries. Meanwhile, the father was apprehended near the scene and shockingly confessed during interrogation that he had premeditated the assault, equipped with a rope and weapon. This brutal act, occurring just a day after the court hearing, sparked heated discussions on the boundaries of justice. Authorities charged Paramjit Singh with attempted murder under Section 307 of the Indian Penal Code. As debates raged, supporters cited the father's profound distress and disillusionment with the legal system's protection for his daughter. Critics, however, emphasized the crucial importance of due process and the rule of law. Number 2. Roberto Rubio. A Florida father has declared he has no regrets despite facing arrest for allegedly stabbing a man accused of raping his 13-year-old daughter multiple times. Rushing home from work, after being informed about the appalling acts, the father confronted Roberto Rubio, the accused. Despite wielding a box cutter, he insists the stabbing wasn't intentional. Earlier, the distressing news reached him after his daughter, in a state of panic, escaped to a neighbor's house within their Green Acres area community. Rubio reportedly used to climb through the girl's window to commit the heinous acts. On that tumultuous day in Palm Beach County, family members pointed out Rubio, who was attempting to hide in his car near Casa del Monte Mobile Home Park. Armed for his own safety, the dad approached Rubio, who tried to flee, resulting in a scuffle that likely led to Rubio's chest wound. The confrontation ended with both men in a canal, but the father managed to drag Rubio to a nearby sheriff's deputy. Taken to a trauma center, Rubio, bloodied and injured, denied all allegations, claiming he loved the girl and wanted to look after her. Despite his claims, under Florida law, no one under 16 can consent to sexual activities, making his actions unequivocally illegal. The father now faces an aggravated battery charge, while Rubio is detained on 3 counts of sexual assault of a minor. The community stands shocked by the unfolding of these events, supporting the father's drastic actions in defense of his daughter. Number 1. Kenneth Faulkner. Kenneth Faulkner took a stand that shocked everyone when he found out that Thomas Williams, the man who targeted his 2 young daughters, would only get 3 years of supervised probation. Faulkner, a dad in his 30s, couldn't hold back his anger over the light sentence. Last December, Faulkner reported to the Columbia police that he suspected abuse involving his daughters, aged 4 and 7, who were related to Williams by marriage. In March, a Maury County grand jury charged Williams with 2 counts of solicitation of a minor, a crime where someone tries to get a person under 18 to do something sexual. Williams was arrested in April with a bail set at $2,000, which he paid the same day. The news in April that Williams had pleaded guilty but wouldn't face jail time set Faulkner off. He went to Williams' house, confronted him, and demanded to know why he targeted his children. Williams, lost for words, said he just didn't know. That's when Faulkner, overwhelmed by rage, struck Williams, knocking him down the stairs and beating him until he had to be taken to the hospital. Circuit Court Judge Robert Jones justified the probation decision by pointing out that Williams hadn't physically touched the children and might be suffering from dementia. Despite this, Faulkner and his family protested outside the Maury County Courthouse, calling for stricter punishment. The case sparked a massive online support wave for Faulkner, with people rallying behind his protective father's instincts.